You ever get a feeling that something's watching you? Like you're not alone even when you know there's no one else around? Yeah, it happened to me once. Back in fall of 2019, I was driving across West Virginia. Just a paper map and a playlist full of road trip songs. I was headed toward this little town called Spencer, taking back roads, the kind that twist through the mountains. No lights, no gas stations, just trees for miles. I had about half a tank of gas, but then I saw a sign that said Mount Hope, 4 miles. Now, I'd never heard of Mount Hope before, but it was getting dark, and I thought, grab a hot meal, maybe a cheap motel, so I took the turn. That was my first mistake. The road narrowed fast, no shoulder. Just woods pressing in from both sides. My headlights barely reached past the trees, and there was this heavy fog starting to roll in. This feels weird. Not scary, but just off. And both looked abandoned. Windows boarded, paint peeling. No lights, finally. I hit the edge of the town, if you can even call it that. A rusty old welcome sign that said, Mount Hope, founded 1893. I should have listened. The place was dead silent. No people, no cars, no sounds, not even bugs. I pulled into what looked like a main street. Tiny stores all shut, curtains drawn. And this one old gas station with a single flickering bulb over the door. There was a man sitting out front. Looked like he hadn't moved in hours. Hey, he didn't answer. Just stared. His eyes looked glazed. But not like he was high, more like he was hollow. Then he said I laughed. But then he said it again, only slower. You're not supposed to be here. Kept looking for a place to turn around and leave. That's when I saw it. This little red house, lights on, smoke coming out of the chimney. There was a room for rent sign hanging on the porch. I figured, better than sleeping in the car. I parked and knocked on the door. A woman answered. She introduced herself as Miss Clara. I asked about the room. You can stay the night, $10 cash. I handed her a 20 and told her to keep the change. She smiled, but not in a thankful way. It felt more like she knew something I didn't. The whole place smelled like dust and pine cleaner. That kind of chill that crawls up your back. And it all started on a trip I never should have taken. No GPS, so I figured I was good. I saw maybe 2 houses the whole drive. Get out. A diner with the lights off. I rolled my window down and said, Is there a motel around here? You're not supposed to be here. Thinking maybe he was just being weird. Looked totally normal. Screw it. Polite smile. She nodded and said, and I still can't explain it, but I know it was real. Just me and my old Honda. No signal. Maybe I can crash there for the night. And right below that, someone had spray painted. I didn't even reply, I just drove off. Maybe in her late 60s. Hair tied back, she led me upstairs. The hallway was narrow, with old floral wallpaper peeling at the edges. I remember thinking, not yet. She opened the door to a tiny room. Bed, lamp, mirror, nothing else. She said, bathrooms down the hall. Don't open any other doors. And whatever you hear tonight, don't come out. Then she just left. I thought, well, that's comforting. I locked the door, kicked off my boots, laid down. But I couldn't sleep. There was this weird thumping sound coming from below me, like someone dragging a bag of rocks across the floor. Then I heard a whisper, low, barely there, but close, too close. I sat up, held my breath. It said, he sees you now. I jumped out of bed, turned on the light. Nothing there. I checked the window. It was shut. Then the mirror caught my eye, And I swear, for just a second, my reflection blinked before I did. I turned it around. Didn't want to see it again. I sat on the bed, heart pounding, trying to decide if I should just leave right then. But the hallway was pitch black, and Miss Clara's warning echoed in my head. Don't open any other doors, and don't come out. So I stayed. Eventually I must have passed out, because I woke up around 4 a.m. to silence. The kind of silence that screams. I checked the clock, then looked at the mirror again, still turned backward. But now, there were fingerprints on it, long, smudged, as if someone had been pressing from the inside. I grabbed my bag, ran downstairs, didn't even try to find Miss Clara. I bolted for my car, but before I opened the door, I looked back at the house. All the lights were off. No smoke. No sign I had ever been there. I drove like hell out of that town. Didn't stop until I saw a real gas station with other cars and people. I went inside, still shaken, asked the cashier if he knew about Mount Hope. He looked at me confused. Mount Hope. That place burned down in the 70s. He said. I told him. Number. I was just there. Stayed in a red house with a lady named Miss Clara. His face went pale, and he said, You're kidding, right? Because Miss Clara was murdered in 1974. She ran a boarding house out that way. Some drifter killed her and 4 guests, chopped them up, put them in the basement, then vanished. I left the store without saying another word. But here's the part that really messes me up. When I got home, a week later, I started hearing whispers in my apartment. Same voice, same words. He sees you now. Things moved. Lights flickered. Sometimes I'd wake up with dirt on my floor, and I live on the 5th story. One night, I heard the dragging sound again, just like in Mount Hope. Only this time, it was coming from inside my closet. I opened it, empty, but on the inside of the door was a fingerprint, just one, and it wasn't mine. I moved out, threw away everything I owned, even burned the clothes I wore that night. But it didn't help. Wherever I go, it follows. Hotels, friends' places, doesn't matter. Everywhere, that voice comes back. He sees you now. I've tried priests, psychics, doctors. Nothing works. So now, I'm telling you, not because I want help, but because I want to warn you, if you ever see a sign for Mount Hope, then turn, and turn. Keep driving. Doesn't matter how lost you are. Doesn't matter if you're out of gas, because that place, it doesn't let you go. Not really. And if you hear a whisper late at night, saying those same words, then it's already too late. He sees you now.